It's time for the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Powerful and liberating business strategies you can start in 5 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, Dean Soto.
Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of FreedomIn5Minutes.com and Prosulum.com, Prosulum.com. And we're here again with another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this. Even a tiny bit of dirt can dull your business blade. That and more coming up. Well, good morning. Oh, my goodness. It's another beautiful quarantine day here in Central California. Wonderful, huh? How you doing? How you doing? Well, before I get into this, go to Google and type in FreedomIn5Minutes.com podcast and subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. Get that going, okay? Get that going. You need to get that going. So the other day I bought a steel. So how do you spell that? Stihl. I think it's still 362C chainsaw. That's right. Your boy Dean is cutting down some trees, cutting down some stuff. And it's awesome. I was all like nervous and stuff like that before. I've never used a like a gas powered chainsaw before. And you go to YouTube and you see them always talking about, hey, you want to worry about kickback, you want to be as safe as possible and yada yada. So I got all my gear on. I got my chainsaw chaps on, my safety chaps. I have my helmet, my gloves, my glasses, all of those things, hearing protection. And the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, what if this thing kicks back and smacks me in the leg as I'm trying to take down this tree, and I have to go to the doctor because I'm bleeding out and all that other stuff. I had all this stuff worried and going on in my brain, and it ended up being absolutely awesome. No injuries, no nothing. And I ended up not knocking down the whole entire tree because the tree is actually pretty cool. It's a elder. So elderberry. If you ever tried elderberry, it's a great, if you can get the elderberry juice, it's a great thing to use for your immune system if you're ever sick. It's like nature's cough syrup. It's awesome. So I'm I'm cutting down this tree and it's like awesome. Everything's going well. And I'm trying to get the end of one little trunk, and I didn't even notice it until it happened. But I got a tiny little bit of dirt in the tip of the chainsaw. And what started to happen was I could smell something a little different. Like, as you're doing this stuff, you're smelling, you smell things, like the gas and everything like that. But I started smelling something a little bit different. And I just started noticing, I started noticing that the blade was not cutting as much as it was before. And I'm like, wow, that was really short. Like, really, it's already gonna stop, and I have to sharpen this thing. Well, I remembered when I bought the thing, I bought it from Ace Hardware, and the guy that was helping me out with it, I said, when do you have to sharpen the blade? And he said, essentially anytime you hit dirt. and I was like, really? And so I obviously hit a little bit of dirt because the blade just almost immediately started dulling. and I could cut through some stuff, but you can tell it just was not doing it nearly as well as it was before. And I could hear after I let the chain stop moving, I could hear it like scraping as the blade was turning it toward the end. And I realized that the dirt was almost immediately causing this chain to go dull. And it really only took a little bit of dirt, like to the point where I didn't even notice it. And I started wondering, like, why in the heck did that happen? So I'm going to actually, as of today, I'm going to go take it in. I wanted them to teach me how to maintain it, sharpen it, and all other stuff. And I was So sorry, I started thinking about some things. I kind of went all over the place in my head. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go take it, but I started doing some research, and it's amazing that just a little bit of dirt, because of how hard the actual little grains of the sand in dirt are, that is what starts dulling the blade extremely fast. However, the blade is actually working on the saw, because it's not able to, because it's constantly rubbing up against that blade, it dulls the blade super, super, super fast. And I just started thinking, if something that small can cause something so powerful to basically not work, it's no wonder why one little idea, one little way of doing business a certain way can cause that business to go dull as well. And we're seeing this a lot with the whole COVID-19 type stuff, the coronavirus stuff, right? Especially in the restaurant industry, this idea that the majority of orders need to be in person, which they do, in a sense, but ignoring. It's funny because especially in the fast casual restaurant types, I always wondered why there was really no drive-through. There was no drive-through. There was no takeout or anything like that. And of course, I think in that particular industry, in fast casual is like Five Guys and Qdoba and I'm trying to think of other ones that are pretty popular. Chipotle, so on and so forth. That's considered fast casual. And I'm guessing it's because they wanted to have a mix of they didn't want to be totally fast food, but they also wanted, they wanted to have that kind of like restaurant-y type feel, but also to have the quickness of fast food. It was just interesting because you start to see how because of that idea, they set themselves up to have a really rough time during this time. There's no remote, right? There's no takeout. The only ones around where we're at is there's one place called Butterfish, where they were set up from the beginning to take in mobile orders and to-go orders. And we go there all the time because it's so easy with their app to just to eat there. But for the most part, these big chains, boom, got hammered, right? Because they weren't quite ready for it. Because I already knew that Butterfish, that they had the app, they had the to-go orders, so it's very easy. I already knew that they were going to be serving and how to go about doing it. Because you have to understand, like, the customers also need to understand, like, how do I order? Do I have to go in and stand 6 feet apart and everything like that? Like, when I go to Five Guys now, like, I have to stand 6 feet away from the cash register, and there's no seats, and it's super unwelcoming, and it's just, and I got something in my foot, and you can tell, for the most part, that they were not set up for to-go orders. And now they have a whole to-go order thing that you can use, but I'm not going to use, like, why? I don't know. It's just kind of like, too late type thing where I'm not going to go download all these apps of all these different stores and everything like that if I want to go do a to-go order. And so that one idea that, we're going to make it to where everyone comes in our store. That's how we do it. I mean, the same thing with service-based businesses. I have clients who run service-based businesses where they have all of their employees. They had them all coming into the office, right? And while that sounds nice, we're starting to find out that that's a bit of a business continuity issue now, right? Now that you can't come into the office, what are you going to do? You got to figure out a way to have your team members work remotely. And if you didn't do that before, now you're scrambling to figure out how to do that. And now your workers have to figure out how to deal with that with their family. There's a lot that just by one idea, I need my workers to come into the office. One idea. We're not going to focus on to-go orders. We're not going to have a drive-through. We're not going to have, we're going to make all of our customers come into the shop. We're only going to stay local. We're not doing any online things. All of this stuff, starting to see very quickly how vulnerable that little tiny piece of dirt, that little idea has made business, right? That's why it's such a good idea to regularly maintain your business, just like a chainsaw. So with a chainsaw, you have to go in, you have to clean out the dirt. You have to oil it up. You have to go and do things that make it to where one little tiny speck of dirt that's been sitting there for whatever is not going to dull the blade of the business. It's not going to put the engine on overdrive and then burn out the engine, right? This is the perfect time to set up regular times to look at your business, to maintain your business, to clean out this dirt that builds up over time, so that you're never stuck in this place where you leave yourself vulnerable to things like this. If your business had a big, huge remote side of things, you would maybe feel a bit of this, a bit of the chaos that's going on, but you would not have this massive dip in business, right? And we don't know what the future holds with the rest. I mean, no matter what, everyone's going to feel the effects of this. But I challenge you after this is all over, because right now you're probably like, Dean, shut up. I hate you. Stop telling me what I should have done. Tell me what I need to do. I will. Okay, I'll tell you what you need to do is continue setting up your business to work remotely. I've been telling so many businesses, everyone who we work with, this is why we do what we do, is if you can decentralize your business as much as possible, it is going to provide a lot more opportunity in the future, because this is the way it's going to work in the future. Okay? The less you can rely on, and this is going to sound harsh, the less you can rely on people as well, the more you're going to see some amazing results as well. AI is coming, and for like lead generation and for other things like that, there are AI that can do it for you. Okay? You want to have the ability, you want to be prepared for the future, for a future, I should say, where things are decentralized. You have your systems and your processes. You have your process documentation where you're not relying on one or two people. Everyone can do everything in your business. And so if you had, for whatever reason, to let people go, your business still continues to run fine, run smoothly. These are the things that you really, really, really need to focus on, even now, especially now. And the more that you can focus on this, the less damage is going to be done through this right now that we're facing, and now and in the future. Okay? So this is Dean Soto, freedomin5minutes.com. Get your systems in order. Get your standards operating procedures in order. Clean out the dirt, the idea that you can rely on yourself or some other person because they have everything in their head. Start going remote as much as possible. If you're a restaurant, if you're some kind of business like that, start figuring out a way to do to-go orders, takeout, catering, whatever it might be. Everyone that I know of our customers who have catering as a big part of it, or to-go orders or things like that, have been doing much better than everybody else. That's the way it's going to be. That's the way you have to start thinking. You do that, get that dirt out of your mind of it has to be one way. Constantly get all this dirt out of your business, and you're gonna find that you're going to be in a much better situation than everyone else. All right, so this is Dean Soto, Freedom in 5 Minutes. I'll catch you on the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Go check out freedomin5minutes.com. Also go check out prosulum.com, prosulum.com. And I'll catch you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode.
Thanks for listening to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Now, head over to www.freedomin5minutes.com and register for our free masterclass and discover how to start systemizing and automating your entire business 5 minutes at a time. We'll see you next time on the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast.